Let's go. After staying here, you have lost a lot of weight. Furthermore, the corner of your mouth is still hurt. Let's go to my place. I will buy some meat, then make a soup later. You are extremely touched and followed her to the car to return at her home. She indeed make a soup for you. You had been staying in the hospital for 3 days and Solar's mother cooked food for you. So you didn't had any bad days there. You experienced homemade food, but it's just that Jenny's soup gave you a different feeling. Deputy director has already told you about your matter. You stopped drinking. What do you think now? Deputy director is so good to you. Do you really not give him a chance? Or do you want to go back to young master's side? You put down the ball. What if it was you? Will you just give up the person you like? Of course not. Her answer was quick, that she was stunned herself, then smiled. All right, I understand now. In this world, it is not difficult to like someone. The difficult thing is to fall in love with someone. It's rare that you and young Master John fall in love. Don't separate because of misunderstanding. Then I will accompany you to find young master. Tell him clearly. June nodded. It's just that I don't know if he is willing to see me now. It has already been 3 days. Yes, it has already been 3 days. Even if he is angry, it should be gone at this time. So you don't need to worry so much. Today, we will definitely be able to meet him successfully. You smiled. I hope so. After lunch, you both went to Hejung Villa. The people at the door looked at you strangely. Minho wasn't there and they still didn't let you in. Young master still doesn't want to see me. Did he give you any new orders? One of them said weakly, yes. New orders? What is it? He hesitated. Young Master Jones said that you are no longer our young madam. If you come again, let us drive you away. Your lips trembled. Are you telling the truth? Of course, we will not chase you away, but don't make things difficult for us. Young Master John, if not want to see you, you should leave. Another came, talking little boldly. What are you guys talking about? These are all words that young Master Jones said. Out of anger, do you understand? If he really doesn't care about your young madam, why would he give you new orders over and over again? However, the fact that he can say these things over and over again means that he is still angry. It might be a little difficult to meet him now. Jenny, think of something. Is young Master John inside? Did he go out? They thought what Jenny said was reasonable, so they didn't dare to offend you and nodded. Young Master John went out early in the morning. Jenny turned to you. That's easy. He only ordered you not to enter Hejung Villa's main door. He didn't say that he didn't want you to go in John's group. We will go to the company to look for him directly. You thought of waiting here again, but Jenny made you realize that you have another way to. You nodded happily. Guards also heard and quickly said, young Master John should have gone to the company, then you two should quickly go to the company to look for him. You thanked them before leaving. They couldn't help. You are really polite to them, and it's the first time young master have brought women over there, and they wish that you could stay there as well. You both rushed in the company. Your heart was beating fast as you thought that he won't allow you to enter the Jones group, but he didn't stop. You put your hand on your chest with the expression that said you had survived a disaster. Jenny smiled. You should feel lucky to be able to come in. I will accompany you upstairs to look for young master. You guys can talk nicely. Don't back down. You took a deep breath. to increase your courage? Thank you, Nini. I will seize this opportunity. Good luck. After that, you both separated. You went towards his office, and Jenny waited for you in the financial department. You had worked here before, so the place is familiar to you. As long as you could find and talk to him clearly, it would be fine. You walked to his door and smiled, knocking on the door, but got no response. You hesitated for a while and knocked on the door again. It was still calm inside. You felt strange and pushed the office door. Jenny came rushing to tell you that Jungkook and Minho went to attend meeting. It will take hours. It's not appropriate for you to go there. I will wait for him in the office. You knew his office had lunch. You had stayed there before. You needed to wait for him for a while. You would talk to him when he returned. Jenny left and you walked to the lounge sofa that was large. So you laid down, thinking to rest as you have to wait for an hour anyway. When he will come, you will wait up then talk. Minho pushed Jungkook from the meeting room, who have bad expression all the way around. He sneered. Junghan still didn't come to the company. Huh, is he who care about others? Minho immediately understand who the last sentence was. He was silent all the way, but tried to explain for you, young master. Young madam might not have been with him at all. Perhaps she was delayed by something. When did you get off the hook for someone else? He snorted coldly. He didn't take Minho's words to heart. Young master, it is not me who wants to help others. It's just that night. Young madam, did wait outside the door for an entire night and wait for a night? He sneered. Did I make her wait? I waited for her all night and you didn't tell her. And who said she waited for me all night? Why didn't I see anyone when I came out in the morning? Minho secretly rolled his eyes as he wanted to say it was you who didn't see she had fallen, but couldn't. They were stopped in the gate, and when he went in, young master didn't even wanted to hear single words, so how could someone possibly explain? Jungkook scoffed. Did she leave after got contract? So she waited to get a divorce? Young master, it's not what you think. Young madam, a sharp gaze landed on his face. Didn't I say that she's no longer second young lady of the Joan family? Who said her to call like that? Minho nodded. I know, I will not call her again. If he wanted to be arrogant, then he would continue to be arrogant. It was not like he was the one who was upset and angry. Minho was also very tired to be the middleman. Okay, he had run here and there for hours, but Jungkook didn't even give him a chance. It's useless to keep talking. His anger kept rising until he said that women anyway. So he bowed before went away, leaving Jungkook alone in the office. Minho sighed helplessly and went to collect some information for the deal. Jungkook pursed his lips, sitting on his table trying to work. His face was cold as he saw the documents on the table were neatly arranged. This was all arranged by Minho. When you were still his assistant, you were in charge of these matters, but now his eyes dimmed, but then smirked himself. What are you thinking, Jungkook? You are still thinking about that woman. Forget her. She has nothing to do with you anymore. In any case, she is a woman who married into the Joan family on behalf of her sister. Furthermore, she is pregnant with a... There is nothing to be concerned about. Does Jungkook want to find any women? Did he have to fall for this woman? Ridiculous. The further he thought, the more annoyed he became. Each time he wanted to work, that face kept appearing. The more he wanted to remove, the clearer that woman's shadow became. He thought he never needed any women in his life, but now all of these were completely defeated. This made him very upset. You are just a woman. Why was he, Jungkook, like this? He threw the pen and document aside and rolled his wheel with a cold face towards the launch. He had been restless because of that woman. The quality of his sleep has completely dropped. At night, he can't close his eyes. If he did, the contours of the woman's facial features would constantly be clearly visible. Even after he got rid of that thought, you had stuck into his dreams to disturb him. So he had not slept well for the past 3 days. He had been restless all day and night. There was layer of dark circle under his eyes. It was obvious that he had stayed up all night. When he entered the launch door, his movement stopped as his brows, which has not really relaxed, knitted tightly. There was a faint fragrance lingering in the air that didn't belong to this place. For him, who was clean freak, he had high requirements for this place as it's his rest place and it have to be clean, especially smell it's sensitive. When the faint fragrance suddenly appeared in this place, he immediately felt familiar. He frowned for a while and immediately sensed that this aura, his cold eyes scanned the surroundings until it stopped on the sofa. Women laying back facing him, his softly rolled wheels approaching. You moved a little, like you heard a sounds. He finally reached beside you and saw you were sleeping peacefully. Was not that the woman he had been waiting for the past few days, despite his anger? The moment he saw you, instantly he felt that the anger in his heart for the past 3 days had loosened a little. He couldn't help but stare at you. The sleeping you was exceptionally quiet. Your fair face with three distinct facial features, your eyelashes and the lights made you extremely beautiful in his eyes. He can stay there and keep admiring this woman if you like this all the time. It was this woman who stole his heart ever since you came to the John family. Even you both get into the quarrel, he actually couldn't forgot you for even a moment. You are always in his mind. If you could always stay by his side quietly, like you are now, not asking about anything, not communicating with anyone, especially Jonghan, but it just so happened. Thinking about what happened 3 days ago, his original calm eyes suddenly became turbulent. It was like a calm sea, but then waves suddenly rolled, and one could not guess if they would become even more monstrous. In the next second, you slept soundly. You didn't sleep well these past days, and you actually fell asleep peacefully when you came to his place. Sudden shadow made you shiver and strange. You moved a little, softly snoring, and curled up into a ball. But then your eyes trembled as you felt someone's presence. Your eyes are misty as you opened it and saw him. He was stunned for a moment. Your vision became clearer as you softly called him. It was fast that you couldn't react at all when he pulled you up from the sofa towards his cold embrace, grabbing your lips tightly, making your eyes widened to look at him. He didn't close his eyes, instead stared at you deeply and sharply, making your heart panic. Even you didn't feel any warmth and you didn't have strength to fight back. The burning pain made you groan and the wound on your lips side hurts. In one gulp, he swallowed your all breath. You wanted to push him, but he grabbed the back of your hair to press more to him. He was like an immovable mountain. Your strength was insignificant in front of him. Only then he retracted his lips and tongue, then pushed you with force. Your back hit the soft sofa behind that you couldn't react. What had happened? Your entire self was in a sorry state. What are women doing in my lounge? He raised his hand to wipe away the stain on his lips. There was a charming and cold smile on the corner of his mouth. His appearance was actually extremely enchanting. No, you shook your head. Now it was not time to observe this. You came here to find him and made things clear. You couldn't care less about the pain on lips as you anxiously sat up. Jungkook, I have something to say to you. You have something to say to me? He sneered. Why do you think I have time to listen to you? Or do you think you are second young madam of the Joan family? You were speechless as you looked at him stubbornly. Although I have already gotten that agreement, it doesn't mean that I have already agreed to divorce. Cut the crap. That agreement is only informing you, not asking for your opinion, women. You'd better figure out your identity and status. This have has always been decided by me alone. Why was not it fine before? Just because I didn't go to the banquet and let you wait for me all night, you want to divorce me? Jungkook, when did you become so petty? Your voice was loud, his eyes turned cold. He suddenly raised his hand to pinch your chin. What choice did you make when I asked you to make a choice? I gave you one night and you didn't show up. Is he that good? So good that you don't want to apart from him and stay with him for the whole night? You don't want to come to the banquet and look for me? He roared with anger. Your breathing stopped and looked at him in astonishment. You know that I want to see Jong Han that night? Jong Han, you called him so intimately. Why don't you just remove damn surname? You blinked thinking something. You knew that I was going to see Jong Han that day. Why didn't you tell me earlier? I didn't want to hide it from you. You felt endless regret and bite your lower lip. You were still wondering why he was so angry that time. His expression and questions are all strange. That's why you anxiously wanted to rush to the banquet, but you didn't expect to happen so many things. You didn't want to hide it from me. He mockingly looked at you, coming so close. What a liar. What did you tell me before you left? You made an appointment with Jenny. You don't want to break promises. You even told Lee Minho that you would arrive at the banquet on time, but what was the result? You didn't show up for a whole night. I went. You anxiously defended. I really went that night. It was just that there was an accident that night, so I arrived late and I did go to see Jenny that night. Although Jong Han was there, Jenny was also there. I didn't lie to you. Then why didn't you tell me directly? He questioned loudly, making you stunned and blankly stare at him. He was so mad you can see it as you helplessly lowered your eyes. It's my fault. I shouldn't have hidden it from you. I didn't want to hide it, but I was afraid you will misunderstand me. His relationship with Jong Han was sensitive to begin with, so you didn't dare to mention it in front of him for this reason? What a plain reason. He sneered, tightening his grip. You looked into his eyes. I didn't handle this matter rightly. I apologize to you, Jungkook.